What's going on, YouTube? Sneed from Sneed Mobile Tech here with a video. This is video number 2 in my new series of videos called Top 5, and this edition of the Top 5 series is on smartphone security. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through the basics of smartphone security, why it matters, what a secure smartphone looks like, and then a set of 5 secure smartphones that are generally accepted and viewed as being secure. So let's first start with why smartphone security actually should matter to you. Basically, if you're going to do any type of financial activity through your smartphone, you want to make sure that your smartphone is secure. And what this means is if you do any type of online purchasing, like goods and services through your cell phone, if you do any type of banking through an application or your browser, any type of transfer of funds from you to your friend or you to a person for goods or services. Perhaps you use some type of an NFC transfer of funding through Samsung Pay, Android Pay, or Apple Pay. Maybe you're the type of person that likes to sideload applications through unknown sources, through developer options and things like that. And if you're the type of person that frequents different places and uses public Wi-Fi, so that way you can save on your data usage on your device. Of course, not everybody has unlimited data. I know a lot of people have switched to that format, but in the case that you end up using a public Wi-Fi, you could potentially be at risk for somebody accessing your data or hacking into your phone, taking control of certain permissions, and of course taking credit card numbers and stuff like that. So let's move on now to what secure devices actually look like. For one, they're usually going to be fully encrypted from end to end. The data on the device is completely secure. Nobody can hack into your device, take any information, credit card numbers, etc., and then just kind of like a thief in the night take it and use it. Also, secure smartphones usually check for any type of app misbehavior, irregularities, and permissions and things like that. Also, secured cell phones give the user the ability to control what applications can access and actually control themselves. So, one example is if you're using an application that's like a GPS app and it's supposed to give you, access to maps and things of that nature, why should that application get access to your contacts if you don't want it to? Or why should it have access to your phone application if it doesn't need to dial out? So, very specific app permissions are a good sign of a secure smartphone. And of course, always giving notifications before downloads, letting you know that there's potential risk. In the case of operating systems, closed operating systems are, of course, more secure than an open source operating system like Android. iOS does a pretty good job of this. And lastly, does the device receive normal, regular, and perhaps even monthly security patches? In the case of Android devices, those come out every month. Not every OEM actually sends those out and has those available. In the case of Apple and iOS, they do a pretty good job of keeping devices secure. Now, in no particular order, I've identified 5 different classes of devices that are considered secure. To start, the iPhone. And this goes back all the way to like the iPhone 5, 5C, 5S, even those older vintage models, they are still secure. They have the most updated operating system downloaded and installed on those devices. And of course, they are closed source. So unless they're jailbroken, they are fully encrypted. Of course, the iPhone 6, 6S, and the 7 series, all those devices, as long as they're up to date and are receiving their have the downloaded over-the-air software, they're all secure. Next on the list, we have the Google Nexus phones. This goes back probably to the Nexus 5. I believe it still gets security patches. If that's not true, I know at least that the Nexus 6, made by Motorola, still receives regular monthly security patches. Maybe not the over-the-air software updates, but the security patches are there monthly. And of course, the Nexus 5X by LG, the Huawei Nexus 6P, and then the Google Pixel and Pixel XL all receive regular security patches. Then you have the Samsung devices, and in this case, Samsung does a good job of keeping security patches available for their high-end models, not necessarily their mid-range or their low-end, but low to mid-range budget options. But they do a pretty good job of keeping at least the security patches up to date. Maybe not so much on the software update for the operating system, like updating from Android 6.0 to 7.0, but at least the security patches are there. Now this is true of Motorola, HTC, LG. They usually do a pretty good job of keeping the security patches there for at least the high-end models. Of course, that's not always the truth for the less expensive, mid-range or low-end models, but that's just one of the problems with Android, I guess. And the last class of devices I want to bring up are the Blackberries. The two Blackberries I could recommend for the secure phone list is the BlackBerry DTEK 50, which is a more recent model, came out last year, and the BlackBerry Priv, which I believe has been out for over a year. And these two models, because they're Blackberries, and they really are designated phones for the enterprise sector, they have always stressed security, and these two phones are able to do that through secondary software applications made by BlackBerry. Now, BlackBerry uses Android currently. They don't actually make their own operating system for their smartphones anymore, so RIM is no longer actually in business in terms of making operating systems for the smartphones, but they do use Android, and they make a very secure version of Android, and they keep them up to date and secure. So those are the ones I could recommend. Now, you could go into any carrier store, any online retailer, and find iPhones for sale, used and new. The same thing with the Google Nexus phones, as well as the Pixel phones and the Samsung phones. Now, the Blackberries, you're probably going to have to find, probably from a place like eBay or Swappa, where you have a collection of users that actually have these phones. I think the Priv was actually sold in carrier stores through AT&T. I'm not sure if anybody else carried it. Maybe Verizon. I doubt it, but maybe a couple carriers carried the Priv. But it was very expensive, like $750 or $700. So that's currently a lot cheaper. You'd probably get the phone for less than half of that price. But the DTEK 50 is probably something, because it's an unlocked device, you'd have to find an online retailer to carry that phone. So thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and share the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Get the notifications, tap on the bell so you won't miss any videos. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.